All right, let's dive into a sneaky little mental trap that honestly costs all of us time, money, and happiness pretty much every single day. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. And learning how to spot it, well, that's a genuine superpower. So let's kick things off with a quick test. So picture this. You're sitting in the theater and the movie is just awful. I mean, truly terrible. Now that 20 bucks you paid for the ticket, it's gone. Poof. So what's your move? Do you force yourself to sit through the rest of it, to get your money's worth? Or do you just cut your losses and walk out? Be honest with yourself. What would you do? If your gut reaction was to stay, then you've just felt the pull of the sunk cost fallacy. It's this incredibly powerful but totally irrational feeling that you have to see something through, anything, just because you've already sunk time or money or effort into it. It's this classic little glitch in our brains that traps us into making bad decisions based on the past, instead of what's actually best for our future. Now, that simple movie scenario, it's the perfect way to really get a handle on how this thing works. So let's break down the logic of the $20 movie trap. Okay, this slide just strips away all the emotion and shows you the cold, hard math. Look, in both scenarios, that $20 is gone. You can't get it back. It is a sunk cost. The only real decision you have any control over right now is what you do with the next 2 hours. So you can either lose your money and 2 hours of your life, or you can lose your money and save 2 hours for something you'll actually enjoy. When you look at it like that, the choice is a no-brainer, right? Yeah, but it's not just about bad movies, is it? This fallacy pops up everywhere in ways both big and small, from our dinner plates and our closets to our relationships and even massive business decisions. Have you ever been out to eat? You're totally stuffed, but you keep on eating just to clean your plate. And you tell yourself, well, I paid for it. In that moment, you're not even enjoying the food anymore. You are literally using your own stomach as a trash can just to justify a past expense. I mean, how wild is that when you really stop and think about it? Or how about the closet trap? Come on, we all have that one thing. Maybe it's a pair of shoes that cost a fortune that we never ever wear because they're just so uncomfortable. But we can't bring ourselves to get rid of them because they cost $200. Remember, that money is already lost. But the pain you feel every time you try to wear them, that's a new choice you're actively making over and over again. And believe me, this thing scales up, like way, way up. Just look at the famous case of the Concorde supersonic jet. The British and French governments kept pouring billions with a B into that project long after it was crystal clear it would never make money. And why? Well, mostly to save face and justify the huge amount they'd already invested. It's the textbook example of throwing good money after bad. But where this gets really, really dangerous is in our personal lives. People will stay in unhappy relationships for years, sometimes decades, because they think, but we have so much history. Or, I've already invested 5 years of my life, I can't just throw that away. That logic, that fear of losing the past, can literally commit them to an unhappy future for maybe 50 more years. Some industries have built their entire business model on this one little glitch in our brains. Just think about a casino. The gambler who's down $500 thinks, I just need to play a little longer to win it all back. That's the sunk cost fallacy in its purest, most destructive form, and it's exactly how they end up losing 1,000. Okay, so we see the problem. It's everywhere, it's powerful, but the good news, you can totally learn to escape it. So let's talk about how to break free. So here's the fundamental mistake our brains make. We get absolutely obsessed with the sunk cost. It's like a heavy rock from our past that we keep carrying around. But what we should be looking at is the opportunity cost. That's the valuable, brilliant diamond of our future. That diamond represents all the other amazing things you could be doing with your time and energy, if you could just convince yourself to drop the rock. So, what's the fix? How do you actually make that mental shift? How do you train your brain to ignore that heavy rock and start focusing on the diamond? This right here. This is probably the most powerful question you can ask yourself to break the spell. Knowing what I know now, if I hadn't already invested in this, would I choose to start it today? If the honest-to-goodness answer is no, well, there's your decision. This question magically resets the board. It just erases the past and forces you to look at the choice based only on its value right here, right now. And that question, it leads us to a completely different and really powerful way of looking at things. We need to completely reframe what it means to quit, because quitting isn't always failure. Sometimes it's a winning strategy. Okay, let's put this into action. I call it the free ticket test. Think about those painful shoes again. If someone walked up and offered them to you today for free, would you take them? If the answer is no, then get rid of them. If you wouldn't choose to start dating your current partner today, knowing everything you now know, well, it might be time to make a change. The whole point is to walk away feeling happy and grateful that you just saved your future. I know. This is tough. And it's tough because we have this idea just drilled into our heads from the time we're kids, right? Winners never quit, and quitters never win. We're all taught that sticking with it, no matter what, is the greatest virtue.
Yeah, but that idea that quitting is always a failure, it's just a dangerous oversimplification. In fact, a lot of the time, it's just plain wrong.
Here's the real truth. Smart, successful people, they quit all the time. They are absolutely ruthless about cutting their losses on ideas and projects and strategies that just aren't working. And why? So they can free up their most precious resources, their time, their energy, their money, and pour them into the path that is working. You have to quit the losing path so you can find the winning one. So I want you to burn this into your brain. Letting go of a past mistake isn't an admission of failure. It is the very definition of freedom. It is a strategic move to stop investing in your past so you can finally start investing in your future. So I'm going to leave you with one last question to chew on. Just think about it for a second. Is it a bad investment? A dead-end job? A painful relationship? Or maybe it's just that terrible movie you're sitting through. What sunk cost is holding you back right now? What anchor are you ready to cut loose?